am. I know you didn't want me to say it. You didn't want me to talk about the subject matter because you totally disabled the comments. They did. Disable the comments in the live chat right before this video. I didn't delete it. I put it on private. There was nothing at the bottom right there. And so as soon as I started the last video, they disabled the comment. They didn't want me to tell you this. And so therefore, when they don't want you to know this, there is a parasitic host that is living inside of humans. This is the bottom line right here. Humans are being used as hosts for parasites, whether you want to think of it or not. So they call it let's say a species inside of the human being. You are its host. There is a movie called The Host, and I think it's about, and there's something called Invasion of the Body Snatchers and things like that. And if aliens invaded the earth, here's what they said on the History Channel. More likely, they studied, I think they were talking to a microbiologist or an astrophysics, the invasion would be coming in the form of a molecular, like very microbe. Here's what they wouldn't let you. I ended that video because they don't want the comments coming on here, and I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to play games with you. So you didn't want me to say this. Can you catch cancer? Oh, the tapeworm inside of this person caught cancer, and it caused it to go all through the person's body, and it ended that person. You can see right here, this is Can You Catch Cancer? You just tuning in. I encourage you to listen to this because the video I started earlier, they totally disabled the live comment and I ended it, but I saved it. I saved that video, even though it was only less than 2 minutes. You're going to hear about this. They don't want me to say it because this is a species that is living inside the human body. Your body is being used as a host, more or less as an incubator for a parasitic thing with many different types of I don't know. There's just many types of parasitic species living inside the human body. Good morning. I want to get to this. I'll try to make it warm. In endemic regions, and we've already talked about this, parasitic worms called the flukes are responsible for the majority of all bladder and liver cancer causes. This is an image. Did you hear it? In endemic regions. So a person they could be told they have bladder cancer, and they could be told they have liver cancer. And all the while, they found out that it's a parasite that's causing it. The parasite caught the cancer. Hello. Good morning. The parasite caught the cancer inside of them. Parasitic worms cause cancers and could help cure it. Let's read what they have to say. Billions worldwide are infected with tropical worms. Unsurprisingly, most of these people live in poor countries, kept poor by the effects of worm-related malnourishment. What may be surprises many is that the worms are also a major cause of cancer in these countries. Did you hear it? If it's a major cause of cancer in those countries, why wouldn't it be a major cause of cancer in other countries? We got to put on our thinking caps. I don't have a cap to put on. I do got a cap to put on. Let me put the cap on. Let me put my cap on. Can, honey, let me just borrow your cap for a second. I can put a thinking cap on right there. This is your police right here. This is my thinking cap. Thank you, Ken. Put my thinking cap on. I'm the police now. Police. So that looks really nice. We got the police out. We'll just set the police right next to us because we got to get the truth. We got to find out the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help you God. That's what we're going to find out. If they're causing cancer in these other countries, there's no reason why they would not be just confined to that country. Let me look at this. Frontiers in medicine and frontiers in public health. We're public. A research topic on parasite-associated malignancy. You know, they say you have a malignant tumor inside your body, is what they say. You know what? You got a malignant tumor inside your body, they say. And you got bladder cancer, you got liver cancer, you got a malignant tumor. It's the parasites in the body. Parasites in the body in these countries. Let me flip it around. Try to flip it. Associated malignancy, new research aims to inform the prevention and treatment and perhaps even turn worms against the cancer. Highly visible peer-reviewed article led by the world's leading researchers who harness collaborative energy in the scientific questions, parasites and cancers. Okay. Over 1 million worm species. 1 million worm species are classified as helminths. Oh, it sounds like hell. Helminths. Good morning. Yeah. We got the police out here. We got the police out here now. We're getting the truth. We're trying to get the truth. We're going to look at it. Helminths. A single characteristic unites them. Parasitism. Parasitism. Helminths. Helminths take many forms, but all of them harm their host in some way. In humans, they can live in your intestinal tract, urinary tract, your bloodstream, causing a variety of illnesses from malnutrition to organ failure, explains this editor, Dr. Monica, Portugal's National Institute. You are their host. These helminths, parasites, you are their host because they're living inside your human body. How did they find out they were living inside the human body? Well, they saw them in there. They found them living in there, hiding out inside the human body. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning. Yes, this. We got the police out. Because it caused the bladder cancer, and it caused the liver cancer and other organ failures. Okay, we're gonna look at this. We definitely are. In 2015, a more bizarre case of infection put helminths into the headlines. A man with HIV/AIDS died after his tapeworm contracted cancer and spread around his body. And this remains the only such case ever recorded. Well, when they say the only such case ever recorded, that's what they mean, ever recorded. This one they just wanted to put out there in the headlines for some reason. Isn't that right? That case was not the only case that ever happened on Earth. I'm just going to tell you right now because there is no isolated incidents whatsoever. Parasites, his tapeworm inside his body. He formed a symbiotic relationship with it, whether he wanted it or not. That's what it sounds like. And that's what it sounds like they want us to form a symbiotic relationship with AI. Well, as it comes to parasites, your body is the host, and whether you like it or not, you got a symbiotic relationship. And in the Star Trek episode last night that I watched with my mom, and I don't watch TV, but I thought I'll watch that, I heard the word Omicron. And they were going to, the crew of the Enterprise were supposed to evacuate the inhabitants of this planet called Omicron. They had to get the Omicron colony off the planet, but they had the spores of this plant that got in them and turned them into something. And the only way they can bring them back to their normal self is to get angry. So they created an angry frequency and they blasted it through their Star Trek thing and break the spell of the Omicron, the parasite. Well, the spores that got inside of them. Isn't that interesting? They had to get angry. That was the way. Now they got a symbiotic relationship. Meanwhile, the scientists have known for decades, that's right, they've known for decades that helminths can turn human cells into cancers. Is it just scientists in maybe the South African countries, the African countries, or is it scientists in a whole entire world knows that these parasites for decades, actually, cancer, they never heard of cancer. Some people never heard of cancer in 1956 when they lived overseas or something until they came to the United States. Then they started hearing about cancer. Is what it said when we did some earlier videos on it. Decades is what? 10 years is a decade for decades. They didn't say centuries. They didn't say scientists have known this for centuries. Oh no, they said decades. Decades they knew about this. That's what we yeah. That's what we're talking about. And we got the police out. We got the police out. I brought down the police. We're gonna police this right here. We're gonna arrest this species because they're using the humans as a host. I'm sorry. They harm their host. If you harm your host, you're not a benevolent thing to have inside your body. They actually described cancerous cells as malevolent. Okay. These species of helminth, they're calling them a species. 3 species of helminth are classified as class 1 carcinogens. They're dangerous. They're class 1 carcinogens by the WHO. Are you the police of the world, the WHO? These are all designated trematodes. Trematodes. Oh, so we're going to have to find a trematode. That's what we're going to do. We're going to find a trematode. Trematode. Let me find a trematode. The World Health Organization has called you a trematode. This could be, they call it a fluke. A trematoda is a class of flatworms known as a fluke. They are internal parasites with a complex life cycle requiring at least 2 hosts. Well, they got to have 2 hosts. The intermediate host in which asexual reproduction occurs is usually a snail. That's the definitive host where the flukes sexually reproduce is a vertebrate. Are you a vertebrate? Are humans a vertebrate? Have you got a vertebrate? You're going to see vertebrate. You're going to find out what a vertebrate. They got to have a vertebrate. So let me see what a vertebrate is. Yeah, we kind of have to look, and they got the police out. Vertebrate. What's a vertebrate? We got to look at a vertebrate. Okay, well, a vertebrate is any animal. An animal of a large group designated by the possession of a backbone. Well, why don't you got any humans in here is what I want to know, because we got a backbone. A vertebrae, we have a vertebrae, the lumbar vertebrae, an animal of a large group distinguished by the possession of a backbone, a spinal column, including mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fishes. But they left out the humans, the human vertebrae. We got the police here, you all. We're going to put them, we're going to human vertebrae. They see how sneaky they are. We're supposed to be part of that also. I'm just going to tell you right now, because we got a vertebrae just like these animals right here, just like this right here, that the World Health Organization said that these trematode, they flatworm, they're flukes, and they have a relationship with cancer. They are obligate internal parasites with a complex life cycle requiring at least 2 hosts. The intermediate host, in which an asexual reproduction occurs, is usually a snail. That the definitive host, where the flukes sexually reproduce, is a vertebrae. A vertebrae. Well, let's take it a little further, baby. Let's take it a little further, baby. Baby, let's take it a little bit further there with a vertebrae. I'm on a row because we got the police out. No, no. See, we're gonna get it. We are. Are we gonna get it, you all? We gonna get it. The Borg queen needed a vertebrae. I'm just gonna tell you right now. She had to have some kind of a vertebrae attached to her. She did. I'm just telling you. If you know, that's what I'm telling you. She had to have one too. She had to have one too. Yes. Come on now. She's had to have one too. She's just hanging down out of her body. Just like that. She can do it. She did do it, and she is the queen. She is the Borg queen, and she's got a vertebrae. Right. She got it going on. She does. Let's get the Borg queen in there. You don't want to go up against that Borg queen. I can assure you right now, you do not. Look at that smile on her face. She's kind of creepy, but she had it. Okay, we're supposed to get back to this, you all. You got the flukes. Can you catch it? The World Health Organization has 3 species of helminths, are classified as class 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization. These are all designated trematodes after the Latin name, the grizzly. The grizzly feeding cavity with which they latch onto their host's insides. They're inside your bodies. They're inside the bodies. How did I find that? Oh, I know how I found it. I looked up something and I found it. Oh, the trematodes. That's how I did it. I looked up the trematodes, and the trematodes are flukes, and trematodes have a complex life cycle. They need an intermediate host, and then they need a definitive host where they sexually reproduce. It's on the vertebrae. They need that, and humans have a vertebrae that they decided they didn't want to put a human among the animals, but we're going to show them too, right there. And we got the Borg queen. Okay, so can you catch it? All right. Inside, they feed the cavity and they latch onto your host. Okay, so they do in that. The worm-related cancer is not just a fluke. It's 3. It's 3. Trematodes are known informally as flukes. In this case, however, they're anything but. In the endemic regions, predominantly sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia, the flukes are responsible for the majority of all. They are responsible for the majority of all the bladder and liver cancers cases, says the doctor. Yeah, I'm just telling you what she said at this right here, co-editor. The cancers arise in sites of fluke infection, including the bladder wall, the bile ducts of the liver. We're talking about verified scientists, and we've got the World Health Organization, and I'm sure they got some verified scientists in there too, baby. They do. And parasites and cancers do have a specific relationship. They are alike in lots of ways. And according to this, they have a symbiotic relationship. That's what I'm talking about. Symbiotic relationship. Now, guess what? You're going to have to do the rest of the research yourself because I've had a call come in. So that is my call to end the video right now. I'm going to show you where I came from, what I did. This is how far we got. Look, and they're toxic. They're toxic. They are toxic. Hyper type worms. They're going to protect you against the cancer. Okay, so this is how I wrote. Cancer, this is what I started off with. You can see my topic. Cancer is a parasite. And you'll see what I did. It came from, how am I get it here? I typed in cancer is a parasite. I did. Cancer cells and parasites use similar molecular mechanisms for survival in their hosts. Indeed, cancer cells might be thought of as normal cells that have lost their growth control mechanisms and have acquired their parasitic features. Can you catch the cancer? There's the flukes. So it all started from this right here. So you can find your own. I've got to go. That was my call to go. The parasite and the cancer relationship from the National Institutes of Health, which is the government. They are the mouthpiece. You are to listen to the government when they tell you that there is a relationship. You can trust them when they say that there is a relationship, okay? That's what I can say. So, are they evolved species? You can do that too. But for the meanwhile, I had to bring out the police. I did. I bring out the police right here. We got the police who came out. I'll put the police hat back up. But I am going to go, baby. I'm going to go, baby. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. That was my cue. Gina, you got to cut it. I got to go, you all. Love you all. Do your research. Do it. Find out how you can get rid of these worms that affect the vertebrae of animals. And they didn't want to include a human in it. A human's got a vertebrae. Okay. Do your research. Look in the comment sections.